Katie Chakowski here, the former federal prosecutor. Katie, does this go through?
Well, this is a very interesting turn of events, but I think ultimately the deal will go through. I think the question is whether it actually has to go through at trial or whether the parties can reach an agreement before then, which may include some reduction in price, which I think maybe Musk is hoping for.
But there's no requirement that it be reduced in price.
Absolutely not. The initial deal really had no contingencies regarding the price or the financing for that matter. But in terms of avoiding litigation and Musk's request that the price be reduced, Twitter might have some interest in, a solid, solidified deal with no trial outcome hanging in the balance there. So that could be a good negotiating point for Musk. But I think really the trial is looking less likely to favor him, especially since the judge is getting less patient from what it looks like as well with Musk's side. Now,
she has a long history, and this court in general has a history of going after the buyer that wants to rescind the deal. But he could argue, the financing and maybe a bank or financial partner to bolting, that things have changed, right? I mean, we've had the great technology wallop in Tesla stock cut by a third. Twitter, you can make an argument, is worth nowhere near the price he's offering because the dynamics have changed. Could that alone compel a sort of a rework on this?
I think that if the case goes to trial, Musk still has viable defenses to the deal going through. The valuation of the company, that was never really resolved in terms of his concerns that he raised, and then really these other issues with the stock price generally speaking. So sure, it's not a sure outcome either way.
Well, what is she saying? I don't care. She can't be seriously saying, I don't care if things have changed. I don't care about the tech sell-off. I don't care about one of your banks bolting. But you can't ignore that.
I don't think that she's saying anything yet. I think if the case were litigated, those would be considerations she would look into, and maybe they would favor Musk, maybe Twitter. But at this point, she's saying, let's try to resolve this because there's a lot of considerations both ways, and both parties would probably be better off in the long run making something solid now instead of letting it go to trial, because I think the trial side of things really is hard to predict the outcome. I think the judge could see that there is a significant valuation issue, that some of the other defenses that Musk had raised about the bots and all the other kind of advertising issues on the platform are legitimate. So those would have to be litigated, and so Twitter wouldn't have a sure win by any means. But at the same time, I do think that the judge's patience with Musk, as I mentioned, is growing a bit thin with the kind of volatility he's introduced into this case.
You say volatility, others say nuts. But that he's just been so irascible and unpredictable that's been the issue here. Is that fair?
I think it's fair from an outside perspective. At least that's the optics of it. I think that when you raise legitimate concerns during litigation, judges have a threshold for that. But once it cuts to the point where it's so 180 one day and the next, there's a concern that there's games being played and that the judges are not going to have a lot of patience for that, specifically here where it seems that it's just maybe some buyer's remorse that's going on in to a great degree because there was no contingencies in this deal originally.
But if you're Twitter, you have nowhere else to go. This is the only game in town. You don't want to let that fritter away, right?
I think that they've been very clear they want this to go through. They want it to go through at the price that's been agreed on. If it's a reduction in price, they're going to have to go back to the board. So there's a lot of considerations there. But I think that might actually be what ends up happening is maybe there is some price reduction or renegotiation so that it can avoid litigation and just be finalized.
Got it. All right, Katie, you're the best. It can always make sense of these complicated issues and not respond to someone saying that a leader of a certain company is nuts. We'll watch it. All right, Katie, thank you very much.